nice. That's my MVP. That's my MVP. LeBron James.
I want to see you stand up.
Nah, don't do me dirty.
So if you get clutch, you stand up.
Nah, and then I go down.
Hello. I'm not doing the hard thing. You're not catching me on that.
Why? Are you gonna become a TikTok meme or what? We have the read! We have the read! You guys are amazing.
Good call, nice.
Nice. Good job. Hey, Derka, I saw those shots, bro. Good job.
Well, that just sounds like an environment that I want to be in.
Sounds like an environment anybody wants to be in.
What a great, welcoming, wholesome environment. Speaking of, welcome back, everyone, to Day 6 of Masters Bangkok and our second playoff match of the day. And I do have to legally say this because contractually I'm obligated to. It is a certified banger. It's going to be Team Liquid going up against G2. Sorry, Team Vitality. I'm so sorry, going up against G2. In case you guys haven't realized, I'm jet lagged and still working on barely any sleep. So your boy's trying to hold on here. In any case, though, folks, let's go ahead and dive into this one and really talk about what we should be expecting in this matchup, because I'm expecting fireworks. We got two teams that have so much talent across the board. Anything is truly possible here, but Kukuka, I know where your heart lies. I know where your heart lies.
Absolutely. I mean, Vitality, they still have not lost a single match this year. They're looking amazing. We just saw it in the comms. And is there something more comforting than just being in a global stage with your new team, with a couple new players, and just saying, oh, we have the read, and that's exactly what they're going to have today.
Yeah, it's a nice feeling for sure, without a doubt. But now we just heard some of Vitality's comms. And following Vitality's win over DRX, we spoke with Kix about why this roster works, this Omen player moment.
Hey, this is Kix from Team Vitality. Feels great. Really happy to go through to playoffs, especially after this banger game. It was a really tight one, and I'm really happy that we bounced back, especially on map 3. We were down 6-2, and it felt like we were gonna crumble. But round after round, we started fighting back and making sure that we just played together, and that led us to playing a lot better, and we managed to actually take it back on split. So I'm really happy about that, to do it in this fashion to go to playoffs.
I mean, he's just dancing around him right now, freeing, holding his ground, but as the classic comes out, Derka gets a third. Vitality on pace to potentially steal this round away. Derka on 4. Derka holding up to half. Flashback comes into him, and Derka sits him down.
People are saying that I'm a different player now and I've improved so much, which I have in a certain way, but to be honest, I'm still the same person and same player. The only difference is this year that we have a stronger baseline and we have insane players around me that all trust me, and that kind of gives me confidence in my abilities even more. We have to just make sure that whatever we do it together and we take it round by round. And what matters to us is what we do, and that's it.
Vitality is our EMEA representative, and one hell of a representative they have been, because they have been unbeatable this year. They haven't dropped a match yet, Mimi. This has been so impressive from the squad.
Yes, it absolutely has been, and I think they've been living up to the expectations throughout this group stage thus far. They went flawless through it. Derka's been on absolute fire, and despite the fact that I think a lot of people expect them to just cleanly make their way through, they did have a very tight match against DRX to make it here. But that actually made me believe in this team all the more, because I think in this game, they showed the flexibility that their individual skill allows them to have. They're really good at seeing what their opponent's doing, taking that moment, and being very quick to adjust their setups, being able to swing players around, put people in different positions, and these guys are all so individually talented and confident that they are just going to find success there no matter what.
To a certain extent, coming in flawlessly without dropping a match also means that you have less reps. So maybe what you're saying is very important. Adapting in-game, seeing those highlights and feeling comfortable in what you're doing for Vitality, for how this roster is looking. This is the first time in history the Vitality ever even makes it out of groups. But they still have never won against Americas, but you know, we'll touch on that maybe later. But yeah, this is looking completely different, and I love what I'm seeing from them, and I think that this is going to be the biggest test that they have so far.
I mean, for me personally, as a person who's been in esports for as long as I have, it's great to see Vitality, an organization here at a global event, massive achievement for them. But let's actually send it over to the Vitality camp to hear from that man right there. Les, which I never thought I'd talk about being in a freaking Vitality jersey. He's talking to Jen Lee. What he had to say.
Hello everyone, Jen Lee here with Les. Now Les, 2 world champions butting heads tonight. Tell me already, who's gonna win?
Probably the player that doesn't lose.
And who's that?
We don't know.
All right, well, they told me they have what you guys don't have, Ascension Trophy. Thoughts?
No? Congratulations to them.
I feel like it's applicable to say in this instance that less is truly more because
Oh my God.
No, I mean
He could have said I never needed one.
but
You know,
but
he didn't. He had a chance.
But it's that brash confidence and smirk that I can definitely respect from my man. He was feeling
He could have
himself.
said you also don't have a chance to.
That's true too. That's true. He is a world
Maybe
champion.
a stronger rebuttal.
Yeah, exactly. All right, well, let's go ahead and shift over because G2 is the first Ascension team, and as we found out, they have an Ascension trophy to win that trophy, right? So now they're going to be aiming to bring home a global trophy after falling short last year. Mimi, this team has gotten so close so many times.
Yeah, they shocked people with that top 3 at Masters Shanghai. But this year, they are truly a team that is looking to take trophies. You had a very disappointing end for G2 at Champions last year after that success at Masters. But now they've come in with JonahP joining the roster, and despite losing to the former world champs in the group stage, they had the ultimate bounce back, winning a dominant 2-0 game over Liquid to make it into the playoffs. And I mean, looking kind of cool doing it.
Oh, yeah, I got to get my G2 Bangkok shirt.
I have one. I think there might be one in the room. It's actually pretty sick. It's actually pretty sick. But yeah, for G2 also, there's a little bit of personal things here because as Mimi was saying, yes, they had a good tournament in Shanghai. It wasn't that good in Champs. And actually, Durka is the one that, you know, got them out of the tournament. So it would be good to see that kind of revenge playing on the stage.
Well, Vitality is a team that I think is very much defined by how good the individuals are, how much they can shift around, play off one another. The fundamentals are amazing with them. I think G2's game against Team Liquid was really defined by the macro. They did so well at inserting players at different points of the map. Valen, every event he comes to, he continues to prove just how strong he is as an IGL at that macro level and as a leader of guys, of players as well, to build them up to this point.
Yeah, and meanwhile, Kakuka's just huffing. She's just huffing it, right? And the Vitality copium is what she's huffing. Look at her go.
I barely need it, but it actually smells like
I respect it. I respect it. But you know what, though? I'm excited to see Leaf again on the global stage. And we all know he's a menace. We know he's talented. But he's going to be dealing with Trex on the other side of the field here. And Kakuka, you're familiar with Trex. Obviously, you know what this guy's capable of. But you also know what Leaf is capable of as well. So you can expect a heavyweight boxing match.
Yeah, absolutely. Trex has so much experience. He's been playing throughout the years in so many rosters. He also has the global experience as a duelist, as this and that. He's been so flexible as an initiator, but that's his role, you know, being the flex player. And I feel like both in Kicks, even though they're like, I'm gonna say the smaller names just because of the repercussion that the rest has had globally, they are really key to this, to both these rosters. And on the side of Leaf, the way that he's playing on the Viper, on the Chamber, he's having so much impact in every single round. To me, these are 2 of the pillars for the team.
They both had their historic moments, making international events all the way back in 2021, Champions for Leaf with Cloud9, 2022, Copenhagen for Trex with Guild when he was playing the Raze there that you're mentioning. But I think for both of them, 2025 has been a marquee year where people are really seeing how much impact they have on their teams and how much they can do on these big matches. Now, they're both perennially underrated and having their moment.
And I love also the fact that in an environment where we're seeing so many rookie players, so many new faces, we still have returning players.
Yeah.
Meaning like, yes, we were good at, you know, back in the day, we still have it, or, you know, we've improved and we're already up here again.
Yeah, that I think is the best part about this game, seeing players find themselves, you know, Leaf was a great duelist, but now he's in all sorts of different roles.
Like Gordon Ramsay says, it's all about bouncing back.
I respect that. Now, let's go ahead and hear from G2's JonahP, who spoke with Jen Lee earlier today.
Hello everyone, and hello Professor JonahP. What's up with this?
Yeah, I gotta support EDG. They showed us some love on Twitter. So yeah, we're looking forward to playing them again.
All right, well, today you have to beat Vitality. The thing is, Durka has 2 trophies. Les won 2022 World Champions. How do you beat them?
We have something they don't have, which is an Ascension trophy, so their trophies don't really matter.
I don't know about that one. I mean, Les did win a world championship, but in any case, though, in this matchup, you got G2. They're going to have to face their demons here, specifically going up against Durka.
But JonahP has a Champions Trophy himself.
That's true. That's true.
And now he's joining in with these boys. We have a very exciting matchup here.
That's true.
Between Jaw and Durka, both of them in their former teams defined the roster. Jaw with EG in the very same year, Durka with Fnatic. But now they both have a new jersey on. And the difference between the players is interesting because Jaw is this full-time Yoru player. He's yet to have his crazy individual moments in the same way he did in 2023. But Durka is right back at that level he was with Fnatic already, Bea.
Yeah, I think that for Durka, everybody, well, not everybody, but some people thought he might go down just by not having the rest of the environment of Fnatic with him. But he has proved that he has what it takes, that he is still hungry and he is still here to win.
Which is a massive achievement for him, honestly, because it would have been easy to
being
just write
so
him off.
consistent for so long with so many names that we have had in the scene, little people can have that success.
And he was so incredible in their series against DRX, dropping 32 kills in a map they lost, being the first player to reach 2,000 kills at global tournaments in Valorant history. The fact that this is 5 years into the game, after he was a finalist in the first ever Masters, and he's still performing this well, is truly a testament to Durka's skill.
Yeah, it truly is, and we're excited for this matchup here because we got a good one on the docket. It's going to be a banger. You got G2 going up against Team Vitality, who moves on to face off against EDG.
Vitality.
And here comes the EMEA representative, Vitality, the juggernauts of their region, as they have an opportunity to punch that ticket to the winners finals to meet up against EDG. And truly, we didn't even really talk about it, but the fact that you have all these different ideas coming from all these different directions. Les is on the team, Safe is on the team, Durka, let's not forget about Trex and Kicks. So much talent there, Mimi.
Indeed, they have that, but G2 as well, the team that won their first ever trophy back in Americas. It's a 3 matches, but they've joined in the playoffs here as well and are looking to go beyond that top 3-peat from last year.
And I tell you, if you're JonahP, you gotta love this walkout because I'm gonna call it what it is. JonahP's the reason why we have these walkouts, because his passion, his energy, the way he feeds off of the crowd is unparalleled.
And it's so cool to see him here, just a few hours away from Cambodia. I know he has family coming out to see him here today.
Yeah, exactly. And we need to think about the maps, right? Coming into this, Vitality, just by having those 2 wins, they will be Team A, so they get to decide who gets to ban first. But I think for them, it's pretty clear. I mean, Americas is, Pearl is American. They perma-ban the Pearl. I don't think that we will see surprises there. And G2 is going to decide to ban the Fracture after what we've seen. And also, you know, Fracture is an EMEA map. That leaves the bind open again. And Vitality, just like EDG, picks right into it.
It was a 50-50, though. They would either ban the bind and play Fracture, or they'd end up with the veto they have ahead of them here.
Yeah.
G2 knew this. They're going to have prepared the binds coming in, but that map has looked outstanding for Vitality. But it's the exact same for G2 on Lotus.
Yeah.
When I watch this map, this is what I feel like is the pinnacle of Valorant calling. The way that they're moving around the map, embedding different players on their attack side, and manipulating the defensive rotations is peak G2.
And for this match, we need that 3rd map. I would love to get to that Haven, especially with the performance the Safe have been having so far. Extremely quiet for what we've been seeing regionally. We know that the struggles for him are different. Also, the responsibilities now IGLing the team and having to keep up with his performance. Right now, his stats aren't looking good. In fact, I think he's right at the bottom of the tournament. So things need to change if this Vitality is going to make it all the way.
Going to be a tough one without a doubt. I think that everyone knows both teams. You can kind of tell the demeanor of each squad when they were in their huddle. They know how important this game is, obviously, but I think there's also just this great opportunity here. Hell yeah, baby! As a fellow Baldy myself, I love that. But yeah, I think that you definitely get the vibe here, Mimi, that pressure's on for both squads here. It's a big opportunity, and there goes your agent select.
And that's it. G2 had 2 days coming into this match. They knew this map would be in the pool, and they're going to come out with something a little bit different. It's a tail breach composition with the Yoru in the mix, and I think the biggest strength of this is what set plays you can have for actively re-clearing space on your defensive side, and how strong your stall is on the plant with the Vice, with the Aftershock, with the tail missiles, plus a fast rotate from that Yoru.
Yeah, exactly. I think that for this one, on the side of the attack, we're looking at Durka, we're looking at Kicks as well, making a lot of those mid calls.
Gonna be a great matchup, and we're all ready to go. And we got just the commentators for the job. The one and only Brennan Sideshow on the call. Fellas, the floor is yours.
In the last 2 years, Vitality lead 5-3 over G2 in best of threes, despite Nico having the most match MVP.
Nico?
Oh, no Zywoo, no Honesty in this one?
Wrong game, wrong game.
But Durka and Jorgamo,
Listen, no dark corridors here. This is a child's game,
yeah, but it's a good one.
It is a good one.
This one is a sick matchup that we've got in front of us. Durka versus Jorgamo, a head-to-head that you gotta tune in for, and the first time that G2 have played against Vitality in Valorant. And they're matching up here at the peaks of what we've seen from these two organizations. There's never been a time period where G2 or Vitality, these rosters have looked better than they are today.
Hard agree. And a hard agree as well at just pointing our attention towards, I think this guy on your screen is Jorgamo, facing off against Durka as well. He's got a hell of a task ahead of him, but he is more than capable.
I'm taking a look at what the devs were talking about. G2 coming into this one, retooling their composition. They're picking a very similar comp to DRX, the one that DRX used on Bind to try to counter Vitality. And they're making a hard read off the pistol round. Look at this, all 5 players defending on B to open this up, knowing that Vitality love doing B defaults on pistol rounds. And DRX didn't really execute this composition very well, but if I trust anybody to find the holes and do the ante, it's G2.
Showing us something very interesting off the rip. For our beginning, Wall's going to be cutting across, and they're right on the money with it. It's going to be a TP play forwards.
Trying to force them. They want the reaction to come into B.
And they're going to potentially get what they asked for. Still, it's an aid, ricocheting, rebounding out through the back, and flash on top of it. Flooding forwards, Jorgamo! He's delivering, raining down, death and destruction. But shots in the dark for safe. Might be able to equalize it ever so slightly still. They're sitting at a player disadvantage. But the reclears coming hot and heavy here from G2. They've got 3 players ready, and look at that. It's the bait and switch. Drop down. JonahP's going to be calling it. Full awareness here with the wall up into their face. There's caution in the wind. G2 very eager to play towards it.
Crazy pause in the round here called from Vitality. They got the info about Jonah, but judging where that fault line came from, you know that he's not right in the choke point. It's so tough for Les or Trex to get anything done here, but they could go for the silent drop, as Les has done. Repositions into sight.
Yeah, it comes down to a bit of a gamble with the timing. And G2 have just used their own wall against them. They're going to use it to regroup back through into halls. Make sure they have control out towards the back of the site. There's still a lot of unknowns. There are only 28 seconds left. They think that they could have potentially exited, and there it is. Opened up wide, but the trade was in sight. Trent's going to be able to equalize it. Less from behind. No, that's a dagger to the back, but only 18 seconds to play with in a 1v1 himself. Him versus JonahP, and time is of the essence. It's already ticking away. Spike in his hands. JonahP's giving him that space and that opening, but now with a fault line right on the money, swinging wide, tapping away. Les delivers it. Bullet to the dome, and a Red Bull clutch sealed up. As easy as that.
Vitality have been too strong in these pistol rounds, and their idea was not as good as G2's. But the slowdown in the midst of the pistol in a 2v3 offered opportunities to Vitality, and specifically Les, who is so good in calm, quiet situations. Managed to silent drop both of the players out through hookah and get out behind the Viper wall for the Red Bull clutch. G2 did not win a single pistol round against EDG in the game that could have got them through to playoffs in the first time around. They can't be affording to let them drop like that, especially when G2 came in with such a good idea. And this map, I think, is going to be all about how good G2's ideas are and how Vitality can react to them.
And to a degree, it's a bit of a pick your poison situation for G2, right? It's you river banning bind, potentially split or fracture, but you've been shown up on fracture and bind recently, and so you can kind of direct where you think the map pool is going to go to that degree. They ended up banning fracture. They're here on bind, and that's why you're talking about the kind of preparation we put in and the ideas. You can see some evidence of that one here to Salvos. Slow going. No damage really done, and a swing through the back of the site. Less is alone doing that one. It's a refight attempt. Salvos into the corner. Kicks has been dropped. And Durka up towards the top, perched up, high ground angle. Plucks JonahP out, and Trent's going to be following suit alongside Jorgamo. And running and gunning does not save the day. Not for Valin, not today.
And while it looked dangerous, while G2 got the right players in the right positions, Vitality still kept 3 of the rifles through. And so, actually, a perfectly fine bonus round situation. Navigated excellently. As soon as Les took that swing out into backside, he's doing that with a pistol, of course. Even when Kix gets caught here, Durka manages to navigate it, with Trex acting as that great support pillar. And those are really the 2 players that have been performing the best so far in the tournament for Vitality.
Nice.
G2 again, though, looking to try to increase the tempo straight down short.
Yeah, quick play occurring. It's a bit of spam through the smoke as well. Durka's going to be traded out like for like. Looks like he pushed past the smoke as well to try and take that fight straight to them.
So Jorg now gone. You know that there's no quick reinforcement of the opposite site. Vitality's attack side on this map tends to be slow, spread out. They use the drones to try to push people up into good positions, as Safe is doing now, just clearing out B long. He's going to walk down behind the Viper.
Doubled up. Looking for open fights and open sightlines. There's a flash in the face, Kicks. There's no follow-up off the back of it, just a jump spot, and that's JonahP hoping and hunting for a bit of information. Calls are being made. Vitality's starting to stack some more bodies over towards the A side. That's why they want to set their mark. No showers control though while this is going on, but JonahP, oh boy, okay, just gonna scurry out of there, just not in time. He's dropped Trent, vitally important fight out towards showers. Now he's gonna be squeezed from these remaining players. Vitality know how important this position is. And there's just no options whatsoever for these G2 players. Putting a slow squeeze on him. Valen forced to pick up the pieces, but he's rolling up to essentially a vacated site. It's just filled up with the bodies of his comrades.
And remember that this is a bonus round for Vitality. It might not have felt like it because there's full rifles on board. But this is a team now looking to break the economy of G2 so early on. Incredibly early in this map for G2 to be struggling like this. Keeping 1 rifle is just going to give them a single hope in hell.
Molly.
Beautifully played there by the end by Trex. Just want to draw a little bit of attention to that. And look at this post-plant utility. They're essentially just throwing money into the void there with the molly.
Make sure they can practice their lineups.
Yeah.
Like, can you see if that's on for me?
Tiny gap on the left-hand side, actually.
Might have to correct that.
Yeah, gonna cut you at the end of the tournament. No, look, the opener is a good identification of the shutdown. JonahP, he uses Aftershock and gets caught out a little bit, but Trex does not take the fight at the beginning. When he first gets contact against Trent, he could re-swing and be confident in his own aim.
Bro, I am smart at this bridge.
But actually what he does is play it slow, play it safe, and allow Kicks to come around the other side and just get the squeeze on Trent, never give him an opportunity to clutch. That's the kind of discipline that we know G2 for, and we're seeing it from Vitality.
These teams, I mean, stylistically, they match up quite well. You're seeing a lot of opening plays here by G2. Comp's going to be suited towards it. A lot of fault line salvo, see if you can get that early pick, but Vitality, they're cool, they're calm, they're collected at the beginning. They don't give away anything for free.
I think more so than early round pressure, what I'd like to see G2 opt for is mid-round re-clears. So when you know that somebody like Durka has worked up B long, or Safe has taken the teleport over to look at showers, for example, those are the opportunities that I see for G2's composition to really have a lot of success. Not seeing that just yet. Saw it a tiny bit from DRX.
Balancing spotted here, up into this spot. Abundance of Yuto going to be lobbed right at him. Barely alive, man. The thread that he's hanging on to, barely. It is Yuto going to be thrown straight back. There's Trent trying to bail him out, but already lost him and control towards this one. That's a fault line into the Armageddon. Slow to a crawl, but the ultimate's even slower. It's not fast enough. Quick repetition by Trent, though. This, oh, it's catching him on a way! My God, fans the hammer. Sheriff finds 2, Less on the side and Treks alongside him. Tries to go for the spray down, but Leaf is responding and it's left Less into this 1v2. Again, a series of unknowns rattling through his mind. JonahP is a mile and a world away. But the time pressure is on Less. He's trying to pull some of these players out, get a bit more information, maybe a pick to make it much more winnable. G2 are not giving him squat, not giving him an inch. And now the net tightening and straight from behind, it's Leaf who strikes.
That gets G2 onto the board. Incredibly important round. And it's Trent. He's the difference maker. We called out the fact that the ultimate didn't get the value that they were looking for. Salvos were great at the beginning to try to keep Valen alive, but it's the reposition after the Armageddon went down that actually gets him the 2K. Slows down the rest of Vitality and helps deliver G2 the round.
That's very important for G2. You can't really let the snowball occur on Bind, attack side with these compositions.
Where is this teleport going? Where's the gate crash going?
Not too sure at all. I mean, he's just taking point, taking contact, wants to take the fight. He has no exit strategy. It's just an orb picked up.
Wow.
The goal was to defend him.
He early round flashed somewhere else on the map. I've got to be honest, I can't remember where he began.
Okay.
And Trent's managed to pick up a kill just by spamming there, anticipating that Les was going to be scaling off the back of the wall going up.
His timings are quite impeccable. I mean, JonahP sliced him up, cuts up the fight. Spread for your troubles, Kicks.
Spread default from Vitality, and we haven't seen any team really be able to punish that. Vitality have so much success on this map because players spread default, and every player is in position to really flex their muscles. We know how strong the roster is. But here, Durka goes down. JonahP forced him out into the open with the aftershock and then just held the angle. Good for the 1.
The playbook here for Vitality. Bit of a slow siege attempt. They're making sure they make no noise. Got to try and get themselves into the site as freely as possible, but it's all discipline from G2 out towards the back of the site. However, JonahP was open to the angle, and now JonahP is on a bit of an island. He needs a bit of help. Potentially here, still, there's no committal. There's only 20 seconds left, and Vitality, they do need to get that spike down. The smoke in their face that makes it nice and awkward, and the call has to be made to try and fight this one through and out. Flashes in their face, and JonahP is attempting to be that one step ahead, spraying away. Kicks is running and gunning, but it's 8 seconds left to play with in the round, and it's just enough to get the extension they needed. Plant is down now, 2v2. Forwards is the angle, the footsteps betraying him. Armageddon's out. It's a rolling red carpet. G2, they are not the VIPs, they are not the ones to the party, but they're going to try and make it about them here now.
Leaf finds the shots, and he converts. He's a player that everyone's been looking towards at the start of the year for G2 as they were dominating in America's kickoff. Hasn't necessarily had every game with the most impact. Honestly, that has been Trent. Trent has been the player in most recent weeks keeping them in these games, but once Leaf gets online and you see what he's able to do at LAN, he's been a beast.
Nicely!
That felt like G2's round to win when Vitality were playing with the clock like that, but as soon as the plant goes down, you're feeling good about Vitality.
Yeah.
And it takes a monster play from Leaf.
Flips entirely, here's a punish though. Straight onto Les, and all angles of retreat going to be covered ever so slightly, a bit of spam into the back. Les is lucky to be alive, he's dropped down to just 48 health.
Look at this unusual wall from Leaf as well that he's got anchoring onto the B site. Actually does allow Vitality to go fully through into elbow. It chops up the site.
One's close quarters, they've got the smokes at least to ensure that they've got safety there. And you are right about the wall chopping it up. Still not triggered. No detonation on it. Molly at your feet, swinging wide and out and around. All in Thunder gives you plenty of targets to pick and choose from. There's still no plant down. And Kicks is isolated onto the site here. Spike in hand. He's worried. Call needs to be made here for Vitality, and it's a steel guard and lay it out just on top. A lot of ults to be expended here. Orbital strike in through the back. Leaf is a quick evacuation. He's going to be safe, and Durka wants to try and run them down with a showstopper of his own. Just sees the exit. No way! Just whacks it into the side. This is chaos, and this is anarchy. Blood spilled out onto the sand here onto the B site. Out wide, Trent is the one who's dishing it out. Heads have been popped, but leaves it down to safe and balanced. Sticking! Not planted! My God!
Vitality are going to be gutted about that one. They committed as many ultimates as they could think of, throwing them to see what would stick. And they had their opportunity, they managed to get in, but my God, it really was chaos. It was absolute chaos. Leaf hit by an orbital strike, and then by the salvos at the end, there was an attempt for a pit to come up, and then Les got dropped, so the pit disappeared.
Ludicrous.
Never show Cadril that round.
He'll be left very, very confused.
G2 looking like they want to hold over towards B. This is the kind of trap play that I was talking about earlier, where Jorg takes a bit of contact, you have a stun.
But a bit of refight as well. Yeah, flash. And does force the TP at least out of it. Armageddon. An attempt there to push any potential players into them.
But also there's that teleport that just allows you to get out of jail for free, and that's what Durka ended up doing.
And no one from G2 on the other side to catch him. And Durka gets out, as you mentioned, for free. All being slowed down at the minute mark.
Oh, wow. Hiding actually there from the drone.
It.
And that's super important because it lets you dodge the suppress. It's not necessarily important to know whether or not Leaf is there, but taking out all of his Vice util would have offered Vitality an opening.
Slow walk up though, and another refight is called for, and another TP! Popped right out to the side, that's JonahP. Popping heads while he's at it. Trailblazer, it's a fast reaction, but that's going to be an aftershock, a stun. An abundance of util. I mean, G2, they've got it in spades.
30 seconds left.
Just when you think you're safe, always going to be refighting you, but how much more do they really have here? Sliders of corners and sliders of gaps, and G2 willing to double up. They have that opening with smokes are going to be dropped down, and backs to these players. A vital one of that. JohnQT, he's ready to take that contact and catch some kills, but it's JonahP stealing all of them.
This is a lovely round from G2. Despite the fact that two players escaped through the teleport, the double defensive reclear towards B long still got value, because it shoved Durka onto the opposite side of the map. They're not able to use their entry player on the site exec. He had to go back through the hookah teleport to try to just end on the same site as his team, and it still also pushed Trex into a corner where he could get bullied. That's the kind of thing I was expecting G2 to do with this comp.
G2 were talking about valuable lessons that they learned off that EDG game. Almost grateful of the fact that they got absolutely demolished, right? Yeah, in the final two maps. But I think the valuable lesson they've learned is that you got to take fights. You got to be proactive. You got to be active in terms of taking them as well. The teams that have been performing the best at this tournament are the ones that make the most decisions like that.
Valen during the press conference said, I'm excited that we got exposed against EDG and a bit against Team Liquid, because it is not happening again in playoffs. We're going to start hot and take over the series. And have they taken over the series here necessarily? Well, they're starting on Vitality's map pick, something that used to be a permaban for them, and they're 4-3 up after winning the majority of these like rifle rounds that we're seeing after the pistols. So as far as a hot start, as far as it's reasonable to expect a hot start on a map like this that isn't favored for G2, I'd say they're doing a great job of it. The pressure is on Vitality.
Well, certainly. Time is going to be ticking down, barrier is going to be evaporating. Vitality have got to look for answers here. The backside of this timeout. Going for an investment with his half armor. Guardian in the hands of Kicks himself. Creeping forwards here. Is going to be using the salvos to see if they can take some of that space away, but it's a smoke instantaneously there as a response. Durka's not shy though. Very much alone when he's taking this fight.
Reclear from G2, so dangerous.
Could go wrong though. Still. Drone. Just a body block. Straight shots from the shorty up into his face. It's a fault line as well. Slowing it all the way down. Durka barely gets out.
G2 have got a really clear game plan that they want to try to fight these solo players in the spread default. This time, forcing Durka away, it's still great, but they're not getting the pick. Can these two site anchors hold on with JonahP and Lee?
Seekers attempt to pave the way. It's going to be Thorns propped up as a result. Wall still not detted. Here through, round to the side as well. There's no follow-up, there's no trade. Nobody really could play into that gap, that window of opportunity that Durka just paid for with his life. Still, plan is necessary. And save. Wow! He's taking matters into his own hands. JonahP from the side. It's a flash and a repeat, but he's instantaneously traded at that. It leaves G2 into a 2v3.
Salvo's too late. Trent and Valen with it all to do.
Nice to be taken here. Valen working away outside towards heaven. Spots the one player, but Vitality very much got this one. Under lock. And Key. Beautiful approach to that one. Clearing out through lamps. There's a tap from Valen. Needs to try and pull these players out, isolate these fights, but he's essentially got paper mache between him and the enemies. Running and gunning, 7 bullets left to do it all. Unless a jar with a movement there into the final moment, so it brings it 4-4.
The entry from Durka did not find the value they were looking for. Didn't use a raise nade to try to clear the Thorns and jumped in. Took so much damage from the Thorns that Leaf's able to finish him off with a couple body shots. But here it is, safe, making the play to win the round. Top of the scoreboard for his team right now, and that's a big turnaround compared to what he's been able to do in the tournament so far. He's lowest player in the tournament for ACS currently, after having 2 absolute stinker maps out of 5. The other 3 he was playing fine, but we haven't seen Safe where he's able to dominate a game yet at all. If he comes online as well, Vitality are going to be nigh unstoppable.
Contact called for though. Impromptu high-low. It's Trent and Jorgamo. They're praying that there's a bit of solo play, maybe.
Portal closed.
Any of these Vitality players walking into them, but they might just be the ones to force the issue. Out wide and away. That was, again, catching these Vitality players in a bit of that transition period. Backing themselves out. There's a heal online so they can make sure that they shore up a bit of the damage that was done.
And a full rotate called. They spotted Durka outside showers, and so that makes it feel like the attacking default is over towards A. So they're trying to call this rotate, find a timing where G2 still only have 2 players defending B.
Jorgamo's got good info here. Dimensional Drift's going to be used, but already go button pushed off, but not enough to deal with these Thorns as well. The Salvos and the Utah that's going to be sailing over. It's going to be stopping them in their tracks up and over though, and not anticipating that Durka would be up onto that high ground. Leaves Leaf into a sticky spot. Try and buy time for the rest of his team to get back into this one here. With 30 seconds left, plan is finally going down. There is no pushback in sight from G2. Just them trying to square up and take these fights. Durka, this guy, not willing to take a step back. Wants to take the fight and he wants to take it now, but he has slowed it down and he is essentially the sole recipient of this site. He's got to try and hold this one down. First line of defense. Oh my God, he might just be the only one necessary.
What a beast! What an absolute beast Durka is. All tournament, for my money, looking like the best player in the world. Top of the stats, any metric. Have a look. He's not even aiming at Trent there. So the phrase is, it's better to be lucky than to be good, but arguing Durka isn't good is laughable. Don't know about that though, man. He is so talented too.
He's talented. Better to be lucky or good. How about both?
Yeah, how about
both?
Durka,
man. That is Durka in a nutshell. Because like you said, man, we could ham on all day, I think, about this guy, Durka, being potentially MVP candidate over the course of this entire tournament. The numbers that he's been putting up are ridiculous.
He's on for greatest of all time as well. We talked about it last time we were covering Durka in a game, but if he manages to win here at this event, which Vitality are definitely hunting for that trophy, he will tie Chronicle for the player to have the most trophies. He will overtake players like Aspas. He's been at the top level since the beginning, attended the very first LAN event and made the grand finals. He's been everywhere, done everything, and now you're seeing him do it with a different jersey on. It's not to do with him being part of the Fnatic system. He's brought the best parts of it here, and his entrying has just been unbelievable, actually.
Yeah.
And the Durka versus Jorg head-to-head that we were talking about at the beginning of the game, Jorg has been not really that guy on the entries. He's got the second highest first death per round in the tournament so far, pretty much opposite of Durka. Like, Durka's still dying quite a bit at the beginning of the round, but just getting so many first kills. Jorg is actually playing a bit more of like a support role for his team.
It's one of those things as well, it's worth mentioning. I mean, not that there's bad blood between these teams, these players, especially Jorg and Durka. Durka, one of the trophies and accolades that he does hold, he stole that one away from Jorg.
He did, and Jorg said he wanted revenge on Durka, again, coming into this game. As did the whole of the rest of G2, because it was Durka, as part of Fnatic, that knocked G2 out of champs. So everybody on G2 wants to take this guy down. 1v5 kind of scenario, and he's pulling out aces on them. He has been unstoppable. And this is another round for him to kind of flex his muscles. Vitality start out slow, waiting for G2, because they've been doing a lot of early round kind of plays.
Cheeky peek. No dice though, not for JonahP. He's lucky, made out with essentially a haircut.
The mid-round is so quiet from Vitality.
Yeah.
It makes it super difficult to figure out where they're ending.
Making noise now though, because there's only 30 seconds left. I think they've realized it. Need to pick up the pace ever so slightly. Fault line and re-swing out through sand. That's good position to dominate control of this one now. Hookah's a bit of a problem area. Vitality have to make a call to themselves. You have to dominate one area of the map, but which direction are they going to be going into? Trailblazer to potentially get them in towards back of the halls. Salvo's on top of it. A lot of unknowns going to be rattling through their brains. Juggernaut from the side, still with the rifles in the hands of these players. It's going to be sailing them into the sunset, easily done with the trade in sight for kicks.
We saw so many thrifties in the previous series today between T1 and EDG, whereas these teams feel ultra disciplined in those kind of moments, not allowing the Eco team to sneak up on them. I mean, Vitality's defaulting and their attack side calling is designed to try to control the game in these spots.
Enemy remaining.
Durka's probably going to be the tip of the spear here again. Showstopper available for him in a round where G2's economy would be in a rough spot once more if they lose this.
Trent, it's an off-angle hold for him. Boombot's going to signal it. How do you choose to play it? Breaks it. Was in a bit of uncertainty, but here's a showstopper and there's no time for quick reactions! Oh my god! There's a clone who's tanking that one. It still gets the value. Wraps itself around the corner and it's gained entry and open access to the side here for Vitality. JonahP has to make a play here, steps forward, and Apache is good with the connection. Spray, but he's run out of bullets! And the return of the fire is there, kicks. Making sure he's mightily consistent, at least to return those kills, but Leaf, hold on, got something to say about it! And JonahP by his side! One word to describe both of these teams, it is that discipline.
Leaf next to the rest of a Red Bull, and he's like chatting to his team about how they want to adjust things, I think. I mean, that was a wild couple of shots towards the end here from Leaf. This is a wild opener as well, like you were talking about the splash damage coming around the corner. But take a look at the replay, how Leaf gets these final two. What a first shot onto Les. And then right before the stun lands, he catches safe. Those are two utterly critical kills for G2 to get back into this one. Their economy is still not saved either. They have a Bulldog. Sorry, they were going to have a Bulldog. They ended up going for the Vandal, so just a single Guardian, a lot of people on light armor. Durka has an Operator on the other side, on the attack side too. Just, again, because G2 have been peaking so much on defense, I assume.
Yeah, I believe there's a rifle waiting for him as well. It's the last round of the first half, so he might as well spend it all.
Seems particularly good against the way that G2 have been playing, because they are finding these opportunities to go for pushes.
G2 with a heavy emphasis out towards sand area. The Armageddon play to try and punish the drone that was coming out wide, but it's a quick step away. Durka's landed himself a bullet to the dome.
Wow, JonahP. He was doing this in the prior game as well. He is an anti-op missile with the Vandal.
Durka's normally good for that. Nice to spot it out the setup. Been choosing to trigger the wall and step forwards into the fight and the fray, but that is going to be an orbital strike. Pushes him out wide into the open. He's able to navigate it well enough. No follow-up in terms of what G2 could potentially offload. There's a plant now coming through, but it's an aftershock to disrupt, and JonahP.
He has the breach ult.
Could make a go of this one here, but honestly a little bit too late. Trex is going to be sticking this one plant down and out, but you choose to go off of this. Push forwards outside of triple. There's no follow-up out through heaven, so less. Oh, he's not safe, is he? It's util where that came from. Trex feeling like the issue's being forced, and the molly goes up and over just to buy them a bit of time. He's got an orbital strike in the back pocket. It's an extra layer of defense to try and win this round out! Oh my! George got a head on it. Salva's out towards the next layer, but that's only removed one piece of the puzzle. Vitality still in positions to play, and even goes down to the salvos anyway. Orbital strike, forced out, but time is ticking. And G2, they need kills, they need to draw the blood, they need to find these players and these bodies. Kicks round to the side, and my God! Wins it out for his team, just in time.
A 7-5 half is quite ridiculous. The headbutt at the end as well gave me flashbacks, goosebumps, thinking about Champs. Alas, the post-plant utility simply too good for Vitality. I think though, considering the context of G2 having this at some point in the year earlier as their permaban map, and it being the first time they've played this version of the composition, they should be pretty happy with a 5-7.5. They didn't even win the pistol.
No, lost pistol and lost bonus. Still putting up decent numbers.
I picked like a freak.
Like we said at the beginning, a bit of a pick your poison situation for G2 themselves. Still anyone's game, of course. We're going to be sending it down to the floor to hear from JonQT about what he thinks about this match so far.
กลับมาอีกแล้วนะครับผมยังไม่ได้บอกชื่อเลยก็กรี๊ดกันซะแล้วนะขอบคุณมากๆนะครับผม And ladies and gentlemen, I'm here with JonQT. Don't you love the fans here?
I love them a lot.
Wow. But first of all, I would love to... They love you too. But first of all, I would love to know, with the remaining 4 teams right now we're watching here in the stadium, I just want to know your thoughts about the remaining 4 teams and who do you think would win Masters in Bangkok?
I think all 4 teams are very strong. They all have different play styles and comps. But I think if I had to choose a team, I would say EDG. I think they have the most experience out of all the 4. And I mean, personally, I'm rooting for G2 for Americas, our region, obviously, but I think EDG will take it.
Oh, right. สำหรับคำถามนะครับถามง่ายๆเลยครับว่าคิดยังไงกับทีมที่จะแข่งอยู่ตอนนี้นะครับผมทีมที่จะชนะคือทีมอะไรเนี่ยเขาก็บอกว่าน่าจะเป็นทีม EDG นั่นแหละนะฮะแต่ว่าก็มี G2 เหมือนกันที่ก็รักนะครับเพราะว่าเนื่องจากว่าเป็นมาจากภูมิภาคเดียวกันเนาะอย่างไรก็ตามครับผมคำถามต่อมาจะถามเกี่ยวกับประเทศไทยสั้นๆ Another short one. I just want to know how has Thailand been so far?
It's been really good. I like it here. People are nice. Food is nice, obviously. The vibes. The weather kind of reminds me of Morocco, so I really like it a lot, yeah.
Awesome นะฮะก็สำหรับตรงนี้นะครับชอบแฟนๆชาวไทยนะครับชอบอาหารชอบบรรยากาศชอบทุกอย่างนะครับทำให้คิดถึงบ้านนะครับ But that will be it for now, guys, and we'll be back to the game.
Well, JonQT expecting that EDG were potentially going to win it all here at Bangkok, and G2 themselves as well. They're hoping to win this opening match, I suppose opening match of playoffs for them. To potentially get that rematch versus EDG after they were ever so slightly embarrassed, and there's a replay of it. We've seen many a player attempt something like that, but it's hard to pull off.
Yeah, Lothar vindication after all these years, that's all I'm saying. My sights are set on Jorgmo though, the player with the slab head, to pick things up as he goes forwards into this half. He's on the entry.
He's not holding anything back.
Takes
very
point.
much, like you said, takes point. It's the sacrificial lamb almost. Second highest death so far in the tournament, but it's there for a reason. It's trust in the rest of his team to be able to trade him out.
Yeah, and that's why, one of the reasons why G2 are winning so many 4v5s, because they're able to trade out Jorg and use what he's given them. He's playing the mini-boo style of duelist at the moment.
Stray shots, less. Chip down. Heal online though, Kix has got that one in his back pocket, so hopefully not too much more damage done. Speaking of damage, Jorgmo dropped into the process, smokes in their faces. G2 looking like they might want to try and go for a bit of a refight. Valin slipping his way in for the side, and JonahP in the back lines. Salvos drop down, attempting to buy some time here for G2, and they've got this sight into a vice grip safe, trying to barrel his way forwards, and damage done to the variety of players, unless it's a dead man walking. He should be at this point. Trent, jump spot. Less sticks, half earned on the defuse. It's win conditions! And he's a monster player! How is he pulling that off?
He's taken so many rounds away from G2, including both pistols. Every time it feels like G2 are in a position where they've come out with a really creative round, put themselves in a good spot. JonahP pushes through the smoke, gets in a nice final position, post-plant util all over the place. And Les is there just to drive the dagger in the back. This is the value you get from the roster quality of Vitality, and you see the frustration build from JonahP. Because what more can you ask for at that point? They're gonna go for the force. They did this as well, playing against EDG on Bind. They found the value there.
Can they do it again? Sling is in hand.
Trying not to give away that they have force just yet.
Bolt line. Unconnects, Kicks as blind as anything, man. He's right up into the salvos as well, trying to seek that evacuation. Les cuts it up tight into the corner. That's just only a ghost in hand. We anticipating some level of this one, and Kicks as well, just forcing the issue, pressing the advantage, pushing past them. Gives his team the advantage, at least in the player capacity. So 2v3, and Leaf skipping a hop towards the side here. Risks need to be taken himself, and Leaf just can't quite win that fight out. Taking a bit of a peek there. Trex knows the play is life because that discipline comes through and shines bright in moments like these. And surely spells out the death knell, doesn't it? I think for G2 in this map.
It certainly should do. Considering the Vitality win pistol and then deny the force buy. And it's Les again, by the way, who gets these opening two with just a ghost, like you were saying. You don't feel as bad if you end up dying to the Outlaw or the Vandal that they've got on the other side, but when you lose to Les with a ghost when you had the weapon advantage, you're kicking yourself. G2 have got a very tough uphill battle now to try to upset on Bind. When we saw DRX play with this similar anti-Vitality composition, they didn't really have enough attack ideas. They got smoked. Vitality's defense looked excellent. I think it was 8-4 in the end. G2 wouldn't even get to play out all 12 rounds if that was the kind of defense and Vitality you're putting up again today.
To be forwards and a stun connects, and okay. Wrangle control, Sheriff in hand, as Les going to be removed almost instantaneously. Kicks, stray damage, stray bullet. Showers control has been given up. Granted, on the opposite side of the map here, Leaf has got a lot of space, and that gives pivot options. They don't take the TP, though. Dog needs to be broken just to deny a bit of that information here for Vitality. Going for reclears of their own and the deep push by Safe. Here's one level of the TP. Will he hear the rumble of the footsteps? Yes, he does. Catching a glimpse of it. This could be a brutal one. Backbreaker for G2 because they are not anticipating. Safe himself. Running a mockery over them. It's a three-piece in a round. Whilst there could have been chances and potentially still as long as Leaf can hit a few more worldies like that, but hard go of it. Vitality now find themselves up to 10.
I was talking about it earlier, but Safe getting online is such a big difference maker for Vitality, I feel. When he played Bind defense against T1, he had 0 kills across 10 rounds. Not that that's the norm, but Safe has occasionally been putting up some stinkers, and I think there was a lot of people looking at him thinking, well...
Paper X time.
He's had some rough performances at international events before, despite dominating regionally, and the allegations of being a choker are floating around, but he's putting them to rest at least on this map. He's looking good, he's finding his timing, still playing aggressively, and he's always got his team calling really well on the attack side, coming up with good defensive setups, and always keeping the mental and the morale up too.
Yeah.
And there's no reason not to smile for Vitality here.
Drone's broken. Yeah, Durka's, okay, rocking a hard place.
He's
Two to the TP, and he is stuck with 2 players waiting for him. Okay. Expectation there from G2, and they were thinking one layer ahead, one step ahead. The question is it going to be enough to convert in the round? Because it's a necessary one at that.
Rip and tear.
If they do end A, there's so much defensive utility to deny plant. Safe has Salvo, and then Armageddon, and then Trex has a Molly. It's easier to deny plant over towards A than B, and that's what Vitality are gambling on here in the 4v5. And unfortunately, it looks like Valen is walking right into it. There is not going to be very much time on this clock at all. They got to get a move on.
30 seconds left.
One push forwards. Yeah, time is going to be an issue, isn't it? Take's already just priming the salvo as a peek from Les as well. He wants to try and force the issue, force the fight straight to them. Clears the way, most of the way, and there's still an Armageddon waiting into the back pocket. 17 seconds left. What is the call to be made here? Armageddon pushing forwards, but slow going is the ramp up, and JonahP gets that plan down. Safety in numbers, G2 might have it, but JonahP ends up just going down to the straight bullet. Dog in your face, there's no saving that one, but the stun still gets off. And my God, safety with the spam, out from triple, leaves it just to save. 1v3 scenario. Need to ISO these fights, and good luck to you. Deep stun, no peek happening. G2 have got this one in the bag.
Vitality had all of the tools they needed there to create crazy amounts of pressure onto G2, but Save, in his head, wanted to retake through lamps more quickly than he wanted to deny the plant. maybe just one step ahead of his own win condition there. They did reclaim Lamp's control and got themselves in a nice position, but the Armageddon just came through a fraction too late. Good work from JonahP, just sticking it there, knowing that G2 had to get the plan to win.
Let's go, boys. We're gonna win
Durka has picked up the op. Valen might be confident, but Durka's op has done disgusting things in the tournament on defense so far.
The only saving grace for G2 is that no one is going to be making their way over towards showers. They're hoping, I think, potentially that the pit placed layered down out towards B long is going to be pushing them into the direction of Durka. As you said, Josh, he's been doing disgusting things with that weapon.
He's in the wrong part of the map, though, entirely, isn't he? We're looking at the tools that G2 have available to clear the pit, and actually, there are quite a few. Looks like the Tejo's going in the opposite direction, though. And you would want to use Trent's salvos and drone to apply the pressure to less. The rest of the team, though, is sticking around here. Are they going to use Trent's util to fake? Because if that's the case, how are they going to deal with the pit?
Still a wall down short as well. Yeah, how are they going to deal with the pit is a great question. Fault line's going to be catching onto Octagon. Will it catch onto Less, though? That's the question.
It looks like the gamble's correct. Where to stun.
Yeah, there's going to be a defense, though, surely necessary. Okay, Rolling Thunder's going to be used, concatenated, added on top with the salvos. That is the cherry. Plays straight down onto the site. Aftershock, Thorns. Less is lucky to be alive. Armageddon in through the back of the halls. Forcing the issue and forcing the players forwards into the open arms of these G2 players. And with a plan down themselves, they've got all the win cons in the world at this point. It's a 2v5.
What a wonderfully controlled round from G2. I mean, that's just masterfully played. We had so many questions. How is this going to work? What kind of timing are they going to be able to get onto Less? But the util was perfection. Kix got killed before he could even shoot a bullet back at them from the anchor position.
And I think he was flashed, slowed by the Thorns potentially. Salvos in his face, Rolling Thunder.
Yeah, utterly brutal. And then you look at what Les is doing inside the pit, and he's caught by the stun, the Rolling Thunder, Aftershock, getting timing by Trent. They really effectively sliced up those Vitality defenders. You give Valen time, and he does call some beautiful rounds.
Yeah, he does.
Here's the stun into the salvo. Catches on both of the defenders there, I think.
Look at
Kix, how was he supposed to escape? He was going to take
play.
enormous... Oh, that's brutal as well. That's based on the Aftershock. They know that the Aftershock has cleared out Octagon, so the spam comes through afterwards. Durka picked up the operator, and now he's got to try to find some use out of it in this round, because he was completely out of the previous.
Might get lucky. Thrown up. It's going to be here in that one. Okay, that even gets the tag on top of it. Fault line rounded about. Salvo's out through the back. There's a safety pocket to play in itself. The auto strike out wide, and JonahP, who's just running his way forwards, gets caught out into the open. Durka finding that value, and here we go. Shotguns in play. Do you dare step in to the nest, which is Lamps? Quick maneuvers though, G2 eager to try and take the fight through the back, and that stun does connect, but there's damage done and bodies piling up into that direction. Lamps is a bloodbath occurring. Quick reposition as well. It's discipline here, the G2 players are showcasing, making sure that they double up. No ISO fights yet. Less does not give him much to work with, still does the work. Still does the damage. Brings it to a 1v1, Salvo's online. Trex is pushed back for about a moment. Smoke, still down. Bit of safety to play in, and just leaping into the fight. It's Trent who knocks the head of Trex clean off.
Another really well-controlled round from G2. It looked dangerous. They applied crazy pressure onto Durka and won a 3v5 afterwards. A 2v5, essentially, right? Just by having Leaf and Trent work around triple, take the right timings after dodging the utility. And they'd already crunched the rest of Vitality into backside positions. Vitality did a good job of getting value out of the shorties. But here we go, Durka's op, taken away from him, back to rifles on both sides. Economy, though, pinched for Vitality. This can be the comeback here for G2. Heard it from Valen's own mouth earlier.
It's a bait and switch, I think the Vitality are trying to cook up. Yeah, it's a nade. Durka was holding it over the shoulder, a bit of spam on top of it. They know that G2 have been trying to punish Less jump spotting in that position. they make adjustments. Slow going though from G2, especially when you're going to be a player down. Trent has been that heavy hitter so far for them.
Trex is going to have to jiggle for some level of information. No, he backs off into lamps. He has the orbital strike. That can buy time for the rotates. But at the moment, he looks like he wants to play a little aggro.
What a call. Walk up into the smokes by G2.
No flashes, though. They can't get into backside here.
Happy to play it slow for now. 40 seconds, though. They got themselves into these 4 positions. JonahP just hard commits, sticks the plant down. It's Vitality want to try and play this with their player advantage, but Dirk is slow going. Off on the flank himself.
Launching smoke.
Thorns, not broken, potentially slowing it down, and it does actually split up these players ever so slightly. The trade isn't there in time, not by Leaf, unless he's doing quick and dirty work. JonahP just pulls it back from the brink, but he's just one man now, and he's got to do it against Durka himself. Nade rebounds, pushes him out. He just falls down to it.
How's he gone down to that? He got a triple kill in the round. It looked like his moment. And Durka, even he can't quite believe it. The nade was perfect. The first impulse drops JonahP down to 5 HP, and there must have just been a tiny cluster that rolled towards his feet.
I'll have to see that again.
Jor gets a double defending here. Nice shot. And then being able to kill both players in heaven.
Yeah.
What has happened here? How has that rolled so far?
Yeah,
I don't think he realized it had momentum coming off the wall.
He's taking a gamble in that spot, just walking. He doesn't want to give away any information whatsoever to Durka.
The Red Bull clutch for Durka there. One of the easier ones, actually, that he's had at the tournament. And G2 take a tactical timeout. We talked about the economy potentially getting broken for Vitality. Because it was only Durka that stayed alive, their eco actually is not in a particularly great spot. There is a chance that Vitality are going to be coming into this with a very bad buy. They'll be able to salvage at least 3 rifles, but then there could be Guardians or Bulldogs on top of that.
Yeah. Might be a judge jobber for less. Durka drops some. Oh, okay, going for the Bulldog. Okay, Durka drops the rival to less, so
yeah.
All right.
So it's not too bad at the end of the day. Trex is just coming in without a molly. We'll see whether that makes a difference. Vitality have not been going for these heavy plant denial kind of strategies. In the previous round, you saw just the plant went down, no problems whatsoever. Vitality wanted to play fully for the retake as Durka was pushing.
G2 have no interest working their way over towards A, not early on at least.
Who's next?
Durka's playing off sound. He's just rotating based on where they hear stuff.
There's our Hookah, spots down 2. It's going to be the fault line, does connect, out through the back. That's Durka, like you said, he plays off the sound cues, being body blocking for the process as Thorns at his feet. JonahP, it's in his own team's Thorns, he's trying to push through into the back! It's into a blender! The rest of his team don't stand a chance, and Leaf can only do so much in a spot like that. It all just goes amiss.
It's a lovely read from Durka, though. He has the showstopper, so he doesn't need to be taking the early fight. He needs to be trying to shut down the exec when it comes. And coming out of a tactical timeout like this, he anticipates JohnQT's giving them a set strat. They're probably going to run something fairly pacey, and he just sits in spawn waiting. As soon as he comes over, he didn't even need the showstopper, by the way. He just hits a 3K, spinning around, head on a swivel. Gets the job done. Eco broken for G2. Map point Vitality with ults to boot.
They're map to take at this point. Smoke's primed, salvos towards your back. TP4s, and the flash is good. That connection saves not long for the world. Rocket up and over towards the top. Durka was plucked out of the sky while it was happening. Orbital strike wasted in the process. Trek's not going to have that one to work with a little bit later.
He's buying time, though, for less on the flank. And they're coming back to him.
Yeah, he's just holding the wall. Is there a level of awareness for G2? Do they actually take this clear? And still less. Doesn't matter if you're aware of him. Still going to rip your head clean off. Retreats, backs away. This guy didn't even hear it with the footsteps. Okay, Trent's handed relatively easy one in terms of predicting that.
Trent's also got a nice timing. Smoked off, though. Might not feel confident to go through that, and he isn't. In the meantime, I've had Jorg sat around this position the entire round.
Re-exploration. Re-exploration! It's from both of them. Jorg and Kicks. It's just Jorg who gets the better of it. It leaves Trex in a 1v3.
30 seconds left.
Salvo's flash play in through the back. Open sightlines onto two of the players, but a trade. It was quick. Was able to pull that one off momentarily, so two surviving, keeping the guns going, potentially some ults rolling into the next tier for G2 on top of it.
It's a nice entry, it's a good idea. When you have the lower economy, you want to try to set up your Yoru, close the distance. Salvos into the back of lamps, forces somebody forwards or backwards, and Jorg flash teleports in. Vitality's weaponry is not good. There is still a chance for G2 to get this one to overtime, but they are going to have to play perfectly. And they're going to need more good setups and to avoid the stacks.
Flash held, primed and ready. Kicks. Wants to try and send this one. It's a fake flash play! G2 are ready for it though.
Well read by Giacomo there. Still manages to get two after he flicked back away from the false flash.
It's quick reactions. Saw a lot of thrifties just in the game earlier. Not likely, at least for this round.
No, not today. And that big ult cycle that felt like it was about to come online and tip Vitality over the edge, it's starting to swing the other way, you know. JonahP with that plant. He gets Rolling Thunder. They've got the Steel Garden to work with. Trent's Teo ultimate as well. There are so many tools here to deal with Vitality and keep this momentum going. Even if less, if you're looking at the ultimates on the other side of things for the defense, even if less goes for his pit somewhere, short, B long, whatever the standard kind of spots, you're going to be running into like Armageddon plus salvos, for example, that are super difficult to stay alive inside of. And we saw how good G2 were at constructing a game plan when they were given the time to do so.
Let Valen take point and hunt the kills there as well. Gets him one step closer.
Yeah, what is he, one away? Two away. Two away from an orbital strike.
Yeah, so the war chest is building. Vitality just need the one. Sometimes the one round, though, can be the hardest one to get.
Enemy spot.
We'll see.
What are G2 pulling out the bank here?
I mean, they're not going towards A at all, are they, at the beginning of these rounds? Full focus over towards B.
Durka's read it, though.
He's making sure to stack it. Plenty of bodies. Durka takes contact. Flash round to the side. That's a quick dodge. Look at the wrist round to the side. Into response, though, from Kicks. And into response from JonahP. That's a TP. Forced back out into the way. I don't think that was intentional. Flash forwards. Good connection. And putting the squeeze onto the octagon.
Valen's got the read that they can just tear apart these B defenders. And this round, it works to perfection. Durka missing that opening kill. Massively important. And Vitality, I mean, the money is still all right for them. They still can commit to this one. The loss bonus, plus the money they got in the bank.
Slightest of angles that Leaf can play in. Steady hand going to be required, though, for what's coming ahead, because a lot of Vitality bodies and the damage being done. Less dropped. Makes it that much more unlikely. As everybody topples on the side of Vitality. As you said, the money might still be good. I think loser's bonus kicking in for Vitality, so you don't have to worry about it too much. Trex was hoping that he could potentially get a kill build. Get one step closer to the ultimate.
Vitality have got a large problem with their defense over towards B. Durka tried to reinforce it here. Goes for the flash peek, and like you said, immaculate dodge from Trent, who's been playing a beautiful tournament. Played fantastically all throughout kickoff as well. Looking like the best player on G2 right now, if you're looking at a larger sample size. And Vitality themselves take a tactical timeout to try to figure out how to close things without going to OT. This is the final timeout available before you get an additional one, should G2 win the round. And they've already tried quite a lot of different things, but G2's, the util that they have available is so good at being able to separate the crossfires from the Octagon player and the player on site. And Vitality can't figure out a good way of adjusting to it. The one thing they haven't tried is some kind of sand crunch. Yeah. Double up towards Hookah, play aggressive short, see if you can crunch on them in sand, and play a bit more of a B retake style.
Yeah.
But there are tons of different ways and a huge amount of experience on the side of Vitality. So these are normally the areas in which we've seen them thrive, coming up with the on-the-fly adaptation. They're going to need it here.
The one thing that they did try a little bit earlier was, I think, less baiting Durka over the shoulder. He was able to nade when Les was stunned and the salvos came out, but that was when they were kind of opting into the B long fights. At this point, though, G2 have just been putting the squeeze kind of equally, to be honest, out towards Hookah on top of it. But again, no change in the game plan.
Well, Les is going to be ulting, by the look of it, over towards B long. Maybe. Doesn't go for it off rip, actually.
Conventional drift. Gate Crash is going to be making his way up towards B long. Gives his team the information. Last time we saw this one, Armageddon and the stun in through the back on top of it. Flashes in your face and a spam to supplement. Oh, it drops the bodies and it drops Vitality into that 3v5. Quick on the flank though, that is Durka. And he has to be the shining light for his team at this point, but the options are going to be running short. As the time ticks, the hourglass runs dry. Ults are going to be held. Util out, spraying and praying. That is the hope. And JonahP right from behind as well. He'll grant you no mercy. OT. It's inevitable here for G2 unless Trex can pull off a miracle. With too much to work against. 12-12, OT here on Bind.
4 rounds in a row from G2. 7 out of the last 9 rounds going their way. So many more ideas, so many more beautiful set plays than we saw from DRX when they ran this kind of composition. The Tejo ultimate into the back over towards B, tons of teams are running that. But the coordination to time it immaculately with the salvos and the stun so that there is no exit whatsoever possible.
Wow, they're so lost.
They really were in that round. And actually, overall, Vitality's defense, G2 hit onto an idea and just drove it home. Now, sides swap though. Vitality with their own opportunity to do something. Early round aggression like we saw constantly from G2 in that first half.
Yeah.
Vitality were eating it up though. This time, Jorg sticks around, plays behind the box. He's got 30 seconds with which to do so before the gate crash goes offline, and he does trigger it early, disappearing back into halls.
Slow going for Vitality.
They were trying to pick this angle a ton. They realized that JonahP does a bunch of jump spotting from truck, from lamps. It feels like Durka knows that Leaf is over there.
Yeah, might have just seen the head there. Nade rebounding. And around here, plenty of players up towards the box, but it makes it a predictable spam angle, and the wall is slippery in itself. Still Vitality making moves. A steady march. Relentless over towards the site, and they do have access at least to the first part of it. The trouble is they're going to try and detangle and get out of the way. It is G2 players. What a reaction from Valin. Get out of here. Pulling off plays like that. With the damage done, softened up kicks. He's going to use that Trailblaze. He wants to carve out a path. Potentially some space. Shower's going to be regained. Control for it. Safe is making sure to vacuum it all the way up. And critical fight! He doesn't win it out!
That's
Leaf
ridiculous.
taking it. How do you get a safe man off now? You're going to try and fight and force the issue forwards with it. Kicks. He's the one to take matters into his own hands alongside Durka, side by side. The reign supreme, but time is of the essence, and Kicks, he's got to get a move on. Got to get a move on. Got to get a move on. One down. Damage done. JonahP more than happy to clean it all up.
Plays beautifully off the damage already done earlier on in the round from Leaf. I thought for a moment that Vitality had done enough. They're so good at being able to push in the post plant in the mid round off the back of a quick flash. But Leaf here, what is that? His peek into showers, it's like the Premier peek, the crouch peek, but he's also almost stumbling over his own footsteps as he goes to take the fight. And Jorg cleans up at the end. Knew that he'd done enough damage to Kicks. And also was coming from an unexpected position.
Time to jump.
G2 with a great opportunity to close things out. They were going B time and again during regulation. Vitality have got to expect them to be heading over towards the B site. And there's a double lurk happening in showers. This feels like fake B pressure, hoping to get the pick onto Trex. Is he going to fall for it?
It's an off angle. Lot to do. Perfect. The crosshair placement. Just needs a second one, and a stimmy gives him an exit if he chooses to take it, but it is precarious at that still. Backs himself out. It's an opening for Vitality, a potential lifeline to stay alive in the map. See what they can do with it. Fake TP in through the corner, safe. Seeing demons and ghosts into the walls.
Fake teleport from JonahP. Just wanted to make sure that it was completely clear, but took the risk of getting caught by some kind of util combo. Vitality at this point realized what the game plan was from Valen. Fake B pressure into an end over towards A, but now Valen's calling a mid-round audible. This one wasn't in the cards at the start. He's realized they overstacked the site. Is it another fake pivot onto B?
It's pressure, isn't it? Clear out towards Hookah. They got 3 players up and over towards it. Bullets raining down out towards the back, but
30 seconds
no
left.
G2 players giving up this space over towards A, and they are ready to pounce at this at a moment's notice. Vitality, though, still with a huge player advantage, but it's only 2 waiting to receive, and Trex has to be the difference maker. And he is, at least for the beginning. Leap round to the side. Trex with 3. Can't land the 4th still. 13 seconds left. Spike out into the open. And that plan needs to come online. Still Garden is ready and waiting.
Last track.
Trailblazer. Round to the corner. Not broken. Timing taken. The plan stuck. 1v2. Flash through. No way. Unbelievable. Moments of brilliance. Almost there from JonahP.
I mean, moments of pure luck. If Jonah had won that 1v2 there, full blind, Vitality would have been sickened. Trex was magical here for Vitality. And that final flash from Kicks could not have been more perfect, wrapping around triple. But Trex did such a good job not getting overly baited by the B pressure at the start of the round, picking up another 2 once they eventually finished on his site. And Kicks is there with a perfect pop flash and trade. Another opportunity. Trex is going to attack side up on Brimstone.
That's a rare one.
No post-plant molly, no armor.
That is a rare one.
Just the spirit of Boaster running through his veins. Maybe this is a call that Durka's made. Like, I once saw Boaster do this, and it worked out quite well.
On bind, out towards showers.
Yeah. He's taking it
Won the round.
side.
Minnie was screaming.
He's taking it over towards B. Maybe just hoping to catch the pick onto Leaf.
Jump spot.
They've been aiming to punish this quite a bit.
Yeah. Leaf's not going for it, though. 6 cents or something. Potentially there could be some trouble. He's playing ahead of his util here as well. On top of it, it's an off angle. Drone out wide. There's no way he's getting the hell out of there. Scot-free, but somehow evacuates out towards elbow.
And now G2 have a good understanding that there's an attack op in play. It's going to make the exec slightly more difficult for Vitality, and JonahP's going walkabouts. Always got that opportunity to go back to A with the gate crash.
Fades away, that.
Oh, yeah.
He's hard committed out towards the back. He's hoping to catch his eyes onto less potentially here. Lurking player, flash through and around. That's going to be showers, and you hear it. Yep, here comes the rumble.
30 seconds left.
That's a barrel sticking out, but he hears the footsteps on top of it. Oh, the prioritization of the kills. It's flawless, and it's elite across the board, all from G2. They earn themselves another chance to seal away bind.
JonahP and Leaf are really turning up towards the end of this map. Trent has been keeping them in it, providing big, consistent value constantly. But as we're getting to the crunch time, the big moments at the end are coming from this combo. Leaf zips his way through the teleporter for 3 as Jorg's push on defense gets them the value. G2 on the attack side. Again, they've been heading B almost all the time. They're looking to change it up in OT.
Aggro off angle here by Durka. He's praying anybody wades in front of him, but that's going to be the drone. Spells out doom and defeat, doesn't it? Aftershock on top of it, just in case JonahP wasn't enough. TP forward, but my God, man, getting ahead of your own util at that point. Trade it out. This Kicks was hard committed onto the corner, and they're going to be glad for it at that point. And okay, Wrangle with a rifle, coverage there into every possible avenue. G2 paved the way to a plant now onto this site, potentially to the map win. It's all down to safe, it's all down to less. 2 versus 4. Good clearance. Clears up the potential question marks, but Valen wins his fight and Les reveals his hand. Molly won't save you there. Valen's feeling it. Puts him to bed.
puts them to rest. Bind is theirs.
Jorg is so excited at the end that he throws a drink all over Trent's lap. They can't believe what they've done. What a blow. What a sick opening blow for G2. Vitality picking this one, thinking it's a freebie, a map that G2 have not been favoring this year, and they come out with a new composition and look sublime.
Let's go. Let's go, Trent. Let's go. Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. Holy shit, 17 assists. I'm like Brimstone out here.
Yo, meet me in my hotel room after.
All paths end with me.
And I'ma do it again. Watch me win, then watch me do it again.